Welcome to Beginner Yoga. This series that we just started is so that we can really just feel really comfortable doing yoga, not thinking that it is all headstands, handstands. That is not yoga. That is a very advanced way of, moving our body and everything like that. But that is maybe 0.5% of what yoga is, all right? So always trying to challenge ourselves, but that's not it. So we are going to open through the hips today. We're going to do a very popular pose today called Pigeon Pose, and we'll work our way to that, and everything to open up that low back. So thank you for joining me. Hands in heart center. Take a slow, deep breath in. We just want to kind of calm the mind. And a hard thing about yoga is that we're always go, 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 go. And so I want you to just be really present and really think about nothing but your breath. Feel that air going in through your nose and maybe out your nose. And if you're not just a nose breather and you like to breathe through your mouth, breathe in through your nose. There's no right or wrong. Exhale out the mouth, but maybe like through the back of your throat. Create some heat. Maybe all these things are winding in your mind right now. Where am I? What am I doing? Why am I doing this? Forget about all those things. Don't worry about anything else besides what's on this rectangle. Maybe you're just on your carpet or on the floor, wherever you're at. But wherever you're at, you're in a little bubble of sanctuary, bubble of magic. Inhale. Exhale, release. Just relax the arms, roll your shoulders. And at any time, feel free to take those breaths. Those breaths help you release that tension in your body. And we're already doing yoga. Just sitting here being present is all part of yoga. All right, so you're already doing yoga. And shake it out, ear to shoulders. We're just loosening up a few things in the body before we really get into those hips. And I will show you modifications today for all of our poses. Most of our stuff will be on the ground, but we will have a few things standing or in a half and half. And hold it into the center, chin to chest. Make sure we're lengthening the spine. So find those sit bones, shoulders stacked on top of the hips, and just gently rest your chin to chest, massaging through that throat. Maybe you rock back and forth. Maybe you come up and down a little bit, little yeses, little no's. Always finish with a little yes. Keeping everything nice and positive. Bring that head up, roll your shoulders back. And shake everything out. So we're gonna swing over and we're gonna go right into our tabletop. Knees under the hips, hands under the shoulders. We're gonna round that back, belly button in, tuck your chin in, really open your shoulder blades away from your spine. Draw your belly button through your back. And as you exhale, draw your chin and chest forward and your tailbone back. So we're starting by warming up through the spine. Open those palms nice and wide. Exhale, round. So we're gonna focus on that breath here. Drop your belly, extend your chin and chest forward. So this is our cow. Hold your cow. So remember, we're working on our form here. And if this bothers your wrists, I'll always show you a little modifications. You can always have your hands a little bit further so the weight is more on the heel of your palm instead of the whole hand. All right, so let's go into our cat. Round your back. Draw your belly button in. Open up that lower back. So if you feel your shoulder blades open, awesome. I want you to try to open that low back as well. Now take it to a neutral spine, and all that means is a flat back. We're gonna rock back and forth. So if you're a veteran yogi, and you already know all these moves, right, that is okay. Sometimes it's nice to go back to the basics or just take that 20 minutes for yourself. So whatever feels good to you, let your body do it. Neutral spine, take a breath. We're gonna open our knees wide, touch your toes together into a little child's pose, sit back. Now, if this bothers your knees, you can be up a little higher and extend your arms out. All right, so a little higher, puppy pose, a little further back, we've got a child's pose. So sit those hips back to your heels. Now, if it bothers your shoulders to have your arms extended, bend your elbows a little bit. Put less pressure on your shoulders, or maybe you even bend your elbows all the way and rest your head. So you have to go ahead and listen to your body so that we can allow it to lengthen, to recover. All right, so it's not about how far you reach, right? This is all about you being present in the moment. Just feel those hips sink down towards your heels. And enjoy the silence. Enjoy the peace and quiet. Inhale, breathe, feel your ribcage expand. Exhale and release. So we're just starting to warm up those hips, open them up before we get deep into those pigeon pose. And shift forward, use those hands underneath the shoulders, however you need to. Go back into your tabletop, knees and roll your shoulders. Curl your toes. We're gonna go into our first downward dog. So we're gonna lift those hips up, shift your weight back. Now, if this bothers you to do downward dog, stay in your child's pose, or maybe go into that puppy pose right here, all right? So you do not have to do what I am doing here to get the benefits. Multiple benefits through that downward dog. Go ahead and pedal your heels. If you look at your fingertips, they should be facing the front of your mat, and then rest that head back down through your arms. Now we're gonna pedal the heels, which you'll hear like walk your dog or pedal your heels, right? We're just alternating. Feel the stretch of the back of the knee. Lots of tension in the back of the knee. Now hold both heels down. You can bend your knees a little. Shift your weight back towards your heels. Point your tailbone up and imagine yourself as a triangle. Even if you're bent a little bit through the knees, there's still that angle from the tailbone to the legs and your tailbone to your arms. Take a slow, deep breath. Look at your hands for me, please, and then walk your feet to your hands, right? A little bit wider than your shoulders. Drop your knees, and this is a ragdoll. Just drop your head. So completely release the weight in your arms. Allow gravity to pull you down. You can even grab your elbows. Bend your knees a little bit deeper. Feel that stretch the low back and hips. Excellent. Inhale, we're going to place our hands on our shins. Lift your chest up and forward. Now we're going to point that tailbone. Now, if your legs don't straighten, that's fine. All right, especially on that first one. Reset the spine. Feel that stretch to the back of the leg. Inhale, drop your hands down if you need to bend. Walk your feet or toe heel, however you need to get your toes to touch, and your heels are just slightly apart. Inhale, halfway lift again. And it's just that little adjustment. Changes it, drop it down. All right, so place your hands. We're gonna take our right leg and bring it back to a low lunge. So step it back and then drop that back knee. Now, if that knee is stuck right here, shift it and bring that foot forward. You can use your hand however you need to. Let's hold that low lunge, starting to open up through the front of the hip. Here's where those blocks come in handy. All right, so if you take your blocks and use them so you can lift that chin and chest, make sure your back isn't arched. So we want to lift up slightly, tilt that pelvis, get that stretch right here, and take a breath. Good. Now we're going to take our left hand and bring it in to the inside of our foot. I'm just going to move this block out of the way here and walk your left foot off to the edge a little and open up. Now let me show you what this looks like from the front. From here, you're just going to take that foot. This is our pigeon pose. All right, we're going to open up and then just slightly lift. Now if you feel that back arching, here's where you can come down. Feel that stretch. Now this is getting us into that stretch right through the glutes here, but also through that hip flexor here. You can use your blocks. All right, and just rest your head. Now, even though we're resting our head, we want to lengthen that spine. So imagine lengthening the spine forward, and then you can rest your head if you choose. Stay right where you're at. Take a breath. Here's where we sink in. We're opening up through the hips, that low back, maybe even your inner thighs. All right, here's where that pigeon pose comes in. I'm going to show you from this direction first. So I'm going to move this. This is where that pillow comes in handy. Take this left foot, the one in front, and we're going to lift up and walk it to your right hand. All right, if you already know what pigeon pose, go right into it. And we're going to bend into a little L shape here and drop your shin. Now shift your weight back. Here's the deal. You want to make sure that you're not sitting on your butt cheek here. All right, so come on up, hold that 90 degree. Here's what happens. If your butt cheek doesn't come down, take your pillow or your block. All right, this block's a little high for me. I'm going to show you with a pillow. So there's a little space right here. I'm going to press that pillow right in there so I can actually rest. And then from there, and you don't have to do that, but I just want to make sure that you're not leaning in just to rest that butt cheek. All right, so right here. So this is what it looks like from the front. I'll show you from the other side. So just stay right where you're at. So we're right here. And if you're already in that pigeon pose and sleeping pigeon, you're just resting down. So if I had to lean over, I'd lift up, place that pillow underneath. Maybe you have 2 or 3 pillows, that's fine. Maybe this is too hard to do your sleeping pigeon, you just want to be here. The stretch is through the glute right here, right on the outside, and then all the way through that piriformis muscle. Take a breath, and then maybe you even shoot that back leg a little further back. Now let's say you're super flexible. You're like, okay, I got this, all right? Your left leg is forward, so we're gonna walk our body slightly to the right, only if you feel comfortable doing so. So you're just walking yourself to the right, and then feeling a little deeper stretch that left butt cheek. Now we stay here a while because that muscle in our glute is very resistant, and it holds a lot of tension and emotions in there. And so what we need to do is just allow your breath to cleanse that area to allow blood flow to go through. So take your time. If you're resisting, you're fighting it, lighten it up a little. All right, so let's use those hands to lift yourself up. This is your pigeon pose. We're gonna curl the back foot, lift halfway up, use your arms. Now, if you have a hard time lifting up, just slide that leg back, all right? You can slide it here, you can go into child's pose, or lift the leg up if you're ready and take it to a downward dog. Now, downward dog, the left leg was forward, so we're gonna lift the left leg up and shake it out. Whatever feels good. Now you could be here, okay? So it's beginner yoga, whatever feels good to you, nice and gentle. We're just kind of resetting everything. So wherever you're at in your position, you'll lift your feet and walk your feet back forward into your ragdoll position and bend your knees. And let your arms hang heavy. So we're gonna do the other side. Just let everything hang heavy. Take a little breath. So feet are a little wider. Inhale, halfway lift. Notice the stretch get a little closer into the inner thighs. Exhale, take it down. Walk your toes to touch, however you need to get them. Heels just slightly separated. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, and release. Now we're gonna do the other side. So we're gonna step the left leg back into your low lunge, and then drop your back knee. Now remember, we want our knee and our heel in alignment. So we're gonna hold it here. I'm gonna grab those blocks since I'm facing the other way, and bring your chin and chest up. Notice the stretch of that hip. So this is the side, the left side that was in front first, and we worked through the glutes. So we're doing the opposing muscles right here, and then also starting to work on the right, the opposing muscle. Take a breath. All right, take your right hand, bring it in. We're gonna walk that right foot. We're gonna do our lizard pose, so open it up. I'll go forward so you can kind of see from that view. Right, so we're here. Walk your foot slightly off to the edge. We're lengthening that left leg back. And when you're ready, you can come down. Only if you're comfortable coming down. Remember, you can stack. You can use pillows, you can use blocks. All right, whatever you need to, just nice and supported. So notice how that toe and knee are always in alignment, all right? So you can place the weight on the blade of your foot, or maybe open up and just turn that foot a little bit wider. So you choose what feels good to you. Lengthening the spine. Hold it right there. Stay right where you're at. I'm gonna go this way so you can see that leg in that pigeon pose. All right, hold your lizard, hold your lizard. Oh, can you feel that right through that glute here? All right, so we're gonna come up, walk this right foot to your left hand. So if you wanna shift back a little bit, you can walk that foot over. All right, we're gonna come on down into the shin, 90 degrees, and then shoot your hips back. So notice how I kind of like push those hips back. Now if that hip is off the ground, here's where that pillow comes in handy. You may notice one side a little more flexible than the other. Sometimes it takes a little bit. It's those hips being resistant. And once you're there, gently release. Sleeping pigeon, you could be up on those blocks. Lengthen the spine, feel it right through that glute here. Feels so good. Settle in. Notice that breath. While you're here, relax your face. Try to relax your jaw and your eyes. Relax your shoulders, let your fingertips go. Send your breath, send your energy, and send your calmness, everything down to that hip. You should feel so good right now, just really melting into your mat. Now, if you're real flexible and you want to do this, you're welcome to. Same as we did on the other side, you'll walk slightly over to your left. So if your right leg is forward, we're gonna walk slightly to our left, and notice that stretch get deeper through that glute. Maybe you even feel it through that low back. Side, take your breath, breathe, breathe, breathe. If it's too much for your knees, you can always do it seated. Walk yourself back to the center. Use those hands to push yourself up. So to come out of this, remove your pillow, curl your toe, lift up. Now you can either go into a child's pose, right? Or into your downward dog, opening the back of the knee, right? So the opposite, you can pedal your heels. And then if the right leg was forward, just like mine was, we're gonna lift that leg up, kind of rotate, just whatever feels good. And if you don't like being up this high for whatever reason, bothers your shoulders, your neck, whatever it is, you can always message me. Sometimes it's just a little change of alignment, shake it out. So either child's pose or downward dog, take a breath. And you're gonna do that whole thing one more time and be done. So slowly lift your hands, walk your feet to the front of your mat, feet are wide, little ragdoll, grab your elbows. Notice that stretch get a little deeper. Our body's warmer. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale down, walk your toes to touch, heels just slightly apart. Hinge at the hip, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, take it back. Right leg shoots back to our low lunge. So we're doing exactly the same thing. Notice the second time. One, your body knows what to do. Two, it's a lot warmer, right? So let's go into our press at noon right here. Feel that stretch. Lift and tilt that pelvis a little, get that stretch. Exhale, we're going into our lizard. So we're going to bring our legs to the side. So left leg off to the edge. Let that leg fall. And then feel free to go into your sleeping lizard. Make sure the weight is on the blade of that foot. Stay right where you're at so you can see what this looks like again in case you already forgot. Totally fine. That's what I'm here for. Right here. Take a breath. So this isn't just about flexibility. It's really about allowing any of that negative energy and letting that blood flow through the body to heal whatever that might mean to you. Slowly come on up with the hands. We're going to walk that left foot towards our right shoulder or right hand and go into your pigeon. Inhale, release, and then shift over. You can always put that pillow right under that booty and slowly come on down. Go take a breath. Stay right where you're at. Just want to show you all of the viewpoints so that you have an idea. All right, take a breath. One more inhale, release any of that tension. Send that energy right to the area that's holding you back. Use those hands to push yourself up. Curl the back foot, lift your knee. Now remember, you can go into child's pose or shift your weight back into your downward dog, pedal your heels. Maybe you wiggle your leg a little bit. Just whatever feels good. Child's pose or downward dog. Open up the back of the knee. Inhale, walk your feet to the front of your mat. Ragdoll, feet are wide. Bend the knees. Relax your head. Oh, feel how the difference of your back. Like you might not even feel any pain or pressure in that low back anymore. It just feels really good to hang. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale down, walk your toes to touch. Heels just slightly apart. Hinge at the hip. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale down. Excellent. Left leg shoots back. So we have one more side and you guys are done. Drop the back knee. Flatten your toe, open up. Here's those blocks. I like to use my blocks on this one to really open up through my hip flexors. So everybody's different, all right? If you feel like you're really leaning in, you're not gonna get that stretch to the front of this back leg, right? So I like to open up. Otherwise I start to arch and all this other fun stuff. You don't wanna do that. Tilt that pelvis just slightly forward. Feel that all the way down the front of the leg. All right, let's go into our lizard. So we're gonna walk that right foot off to the edge of your mat. Again, weight is on the blade of your foot or just turn your foot flat a little bit further. So you choose. And once you're in that position, you're welcome to drop down. Lengthen your spine. So if you feel like you're really rounding and resisting, let it go. Bring it up higher. Use those tools. Use those blocks. Take a breath. Let that right knee sink away from you. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Now you may notice some type of emotions, maybe happiness, sadness, frustration, whatever it is. I want you to breathe it out. So just let it go. It's okay if you notice maybe, some tears coming up or something that's like festering. That's all that emotion just held in those hips right here. So there's nothing wrong with allowing yourself to let go. All right, so let's use those hands. We're gonna go into that pigeon pose. So you wanna walk back, take your right foot towards your left hand into that pigeon. All right, you can always place that pillow right under that bum. Shoot your weight back. Lengthen the spine. So we wanna lengthen the spine to really get that stretch. And when you're ready, we'll go into that pigeon pose. Gently release. You can rest however you need to. Remember, if you're leaning into that tush, lift over, shift your weight Feel free, don't be shy to place something underneath that hip as a little rest. Maybe you're way up here, totally fine. Get a few things, shove it under there. Okay, we want that assistance because it's not about how low you go. This is about really letting your body be what it needs to be. Take one more breath. Inhale, use those hands. So same thing, we're gonna curl the back foot, lift the knee. Now you can either go into child's pose or downward dog. Pedal your heels, however you need to. And then either child's pose or in your downward dog. Just kind of opening up the front of the hip one more time. Take a breath, inhale. We're gonna exhale, gently come up onto your tabletop. So if you're in child's pose, just lift those hips. You're in downward dog, cat-cow, right where we started, round the back. Inhale, arch the back, drop your belly, cow pose. So it's about quality, right? You want to just kind of work through those muscles, whatever you need to. And all of our classes that are 20 minutes and all the others, it'll tell you what we're focusing on. So if you need to go back to any, you can always go back. Slowly release it. So we're just going to swing the legs around so that we're on our tush, and then scoot yourself wherever you need to so you have plenty of room to lay down. So since you have blocks or pillow, or if you don't, that's totally fine. We're going to do an assisted Savasana. So Savasana is where we completely relax. So I'm going to place my pillows or blocks, whatever you want, underneath my knees, and then very slowly roll down. And then completely rest. So this is just an assisted Savasana. What that does is release some of that pressure in that back. And just let your shoulders relax, let your face relax. And here is where we completely create stillness in our body to recover. Just slow your breath down. Feel your body sinking into your mat. You're kind of in that like floating on water feeling. Like you know that you're going to sink down because you're so relaxed. You're right on the edge of that water. Relax your jaw and your eyes. Feel your forehead sink to your hairline. Feel your belly just slightly rise and fall. Notice the tingly, the good tingles through your belly, through your thighs and your hips. Everything feels so loose and comfy. And if your body's saying to do something else, please feel free to do it. But then finish off in this Shavasana as long as you like. You're welcome to stay here as long as you'd like. Take a deep breath. Feel your rib cage open. Expand that chest. Take that cleansing breath. Hold at the top of your breath. And as you exhale, just exhale it all out with a little bit of vigor, a little audible noise. One more breath. Inhale. And as you hold it as long as you can in. And when you exhale, we're going to exhale and try to exhale out even further than you may think you can. Feel free to stay in this Shavasana as long as you like. If not, I'm going to guide you out. Just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Feel free to bring a knee in, another in, both knees in, rock your knees. So if you have any questions, please feel free to message me. All of these classes are on our website. I'll send the link over. If you have any questions, comments, please feel free to DM me. Inhale. These beginner classes are free public classes, so please feel free to share them with your friends. And if you want a little more advanced or longer classes, the link will be right there. Take a breath. All right, let's take those knees over to one side. We're going to rest over on our side. Just gently rest that head onto your bicep. Take the top arm, anchor it down. Give yourself a little hug. Kind of notice the change in your position. Feels really good. And you're welcome to stay here as long as you like to. This is a great resting pose. If not, we're going to use that top hand. Push yourself into a seated position. However you're comfortable, just a nice easy seat here. Find those sit bones, shoulders stacked right where we started. Inhale, reach up, all that goodness. Exhale, bring it in. Be a little bit of selfish right here. Bring all that energy right into your soul. Inhale, reach up nice and tall. all of that right from the world back into your soul. Hands in heart center. Just gently pressing your thumbs against your heart. Sending gratitude and love to everyone else. Yes. Awesome. The light in me honors the light in you. As I like to say, the badass in me honors the badass in you. So please be one. You already are. Namaste. Hi. If you like this video, click the link below or in the pinned comments and we'll send you 2 members-only videos. 1 stretch class and 1 HIIT cardio yoga class that will make you feel strong, confident, and ready to take on the world. So just click that link, put your name, your email, and you'll get full access to both classes. Now, if you like our YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe, click that bell, comment, and like all our classes that you've been taking so we can keep giving you more. We look forward to seeing you in our next Sweat Fit Fam class. Have a great day.